In this third screencast, we'll go over some guidance for assessing culturally and linguistically diverse learners and completing evaluations for DAPE. Our district recognizes that across all levels, we can improve our evaluation and identification practices for children who are culturally and linguistically diverse. A work group, including TOSAs from ECSE, members of the elementary evaluation team, and EL teachers in the district has been working on providing more detailed training this upcoming fall. For now, here are a few pieces of information to keep in mind when reporting information for diverse learners. Information regarding how the child's cultural and linguistic background may have impacted assessment results should be included in each section of the report. The statement that racial and cultural factors were considered may not tell the full story of how the evaluation was interpreted. Things you may consider during interpretation include parent expectations of independent skills, cultural norms and values about development and disabilities, and time spent each day hearing other languages. Many test instruments are limited in terms of the population included in the normative sample. Therefore, careful consideration should be given as to whether scores should be reported. Here is an example of how you might explain why standard scores are not being reported for some children. Now let's move on to the hot topic of evaluating for DAPE. In putting this training together, we reviewed guidance put together by district occupational therapists and DAPE teachers. We've tried to summarize that information so that it is both helpful and meaningful. That being said, it is likely you'll have questions about this guidance. A DAPE evaluation should be completed anytime we consider a categorical disability other than developmental delay or speech and language. DAPE may be considered for developmental delay evaluations, especially if a future center-based placement is suspected or if gross motor development is an identified area of delay. Our FORS evaluation team is starting to include more DAPE assessment on initial evaluations. Consult with your occupational therapist on what should be included in the prior written notice for evaluation regarding a DAPE assessment. Please note, the gross motor portion of the LAP-D is not considered a standardized motor test. A DAPE teacher should be listed on the prior written notice for evaluation to review the gross motor assessment and eligibility. The DAPE teacher does not need to attend the IEP meeting. If you are in an elementary building, you can ask the DAPE teacher serving that building to review the assessment. If you are at the DVLC, contact the DAPE teacher at the child's home school. Current district guidance recommends that if we are sending a child under developmental delay to kindergarten in a resource setting, and the child has gross motor needs, we do not address the DAPE criteria. Rather, we address gross motor needs in the report and IEP. Needs will be served by an occupational therapist. Yes, this is confusing. If we consider eligibility for DAPE, there needs to be an eligibility statement in the evaluation report explaining how the student meets eligibility for DAPE. If DAPE eligibility was considered, but the student does not meet criteria, the eligibility statement should still be in the report. This concludes the third screencast.